Hey bros, Ladeo is Grimion and I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the power of focus and what you can control. So yeah, let's hop right into it. I'm going to get my computer and yeah, we're going to go ahead get into the video. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the power of focus. Alright, and I'm going to be using this board right here, drawing board. Again, if you guys want to use this, just go to awwapp.com. So yeah, so focus. All right, focus. And why is this so important? Focus is how you're able to move towards your goals. It's how you're able to move towards anything, right? So yeah, the power of focus. Yeah, but before you focus on something, you want to make sure that you focus on the right things. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. The power of focus and what you can control. Okay, so I want to draw something out here. I'm going to delete this. Alright, I'm going to draw this black ball. Alright, so this is a black dot right here. That's what it's supposed to be. This is you. And this black ball is you. This is your life. And basically this is yourself. Alright? And then I'm going to have this outer layer right here. Alright? And this is things, this is things in your immediate control. Alright? Your immediate control. Like things you can control. This is stuff you can control, and this right here, this is stuff you cannot control. All right, it gets less and less more about what you can control as it gets bigger. All right, as it gets broader. All right, and this is important because you know, so many people focus on what they can't control, all right? And they don't optimize for what they can control. And I talked about this in the previous video. If you guys want to check that video out, I'll put a link below. I talked about the 3 steps to change your life to become more successful. All right, the first thing you have to do is change your mind and believe that you can do it. The second thing you have to do is you have to take action. And then whatever action you've changed, you get a different result in life. And that result can potentially change your life. All right, so this is important because so many people focus on things they have no control over. Like, for example, I'll just put the news, for example. What's going on in the world? The news. I'm going to put this way on the deep end. Oops, let me spell that a bit better. News. What's wrong with this? Well, what's wrong with focusing on news is that all your attention is going towards this thing. All your focus is going towards news, and you're not able to focus on what you can control. You can't control what's happening in the news. You can't control what's happening in the world. But what you can control is what's happening in your world, in this inner circle right here. And this is so powerful because people forget about this. All right, so this is just one thing people focus on that they shouldn't be focusing on. All right, news. All right, so all this stuff, news, this is way off on the deep end. Way off on the deep end. You have no control over this. All right, what about, let's just see, let's say friends and family. All right, so I just put F for friends and family. So then you have friends and family. Now, why isn't this in something in your immediate control? Well, this is because this is another person. Okay, you can't control another person. You can influence them, can't control them. All right, but you do have some form of influence when it comes to friends and family because they're willing to listen to you and they're willing to take your advice, but it's not something in your immediate control. All right, so that's why it's not on this deeper layer right here. All right, So you don't want to focus on this either, because friends and family, they have a mind of their own and they're going to think whatever they want, all right? So you can't really control that. And this right here, news, you definitely can't control that, and you definitely can't influence that. So that's a waste of time. So you don't want to focus on these things, all right? Instead, what you want to focus on is things in your life that you have immediate control over, all right? That you have control over, that you can control. Like, for example, like one is, the biggest one is what you do with your time. All right, what are you doing with your time? I mean, could you be learning something? Could you be doing something that's going to benefit you for years and years to come? All right, something valuable, a valuable skill, whatever it is, you know, your time is your time. You can do whatever you want with your time, and that's something you can control. So that goes right here. All right. Same thing with, let's just say, pleasure. All right. What do you like to do? You can control that, all right, because you can decide what you're going to do. Same thing like goals, all right, personal goals. Same thing like, you know, controlling your income, all right? So having more income in your life. Oh, and I'm just going to put I for income. Excuse the bad handwriting, but I'm trying to illustrate a point here that's very important, all right? So these are things you can control, because you can take action and you can change these things. Whereas these things over here, you can't change. You can't change what's happening in the news. At least most people can't. I mean, so you can't change this, all right? You can't really change friends and families to do what you would want them to do, or to think what you would want them to think necessarily. You can influence them, but the choice has to be theirs. And that's what I want to talk about. It's because people focus so much on what they can't control, but what you want to be focusing on and what you want to be optimizing is for what you can control. You want to be focused on this right here. And the farther out you go, all right, the farther out you go, the farther away you get from control in your actual life. And that's what I'm trying to illustrate here. So you could just think, and what I like to do, I like to write down a list of things that, you know, like if I have a goal, right? And I'm going to write goal on the side here. I have a goal. I like to write down a list of distractions, things that will distract me from my goal. I like to write them down. So whenever these things occur, okay, whether that's, let's just say I'm doing video games. I want to play video games, but I need to focus on achieving some type of goal. I know that this is a distraction. So anything that is a distraction, because I've wrote it down, I know it's a distraction when it's happening. And so I'm able to quickly bounce back and you know, recover from that and focus on my goals. Make sense? So you want to write down the things that are distracting you. And you want to optimize and focus on reaching your goal. Makes sense? Again, this is kind of a bit different, but you know, I thought it'd be really cool to illustrate this. I mean, okay, let's go further though. Let's go further. Other people's opinions, okay? Opinions, or other people's beliefs, all right? Or other people's thinking. All right, I'm going to put T for thinking. All of these things you cannot control. Well, what if people think this of me? Or what are people going to feel about this? Or well, people believe this. So what? You have no control over what these people think. That's what people don't realize. You have no control over what other people think. You have no control about what their opinions are going to be. Instead, what you need to be focused on is what you think, all right? And how you feel about yourself. Like, people put their self-worth in other people. And that's the worst thing you can ever do. People who put their self-worth in what other people think of them. Because the moment that person's belief changes about them, their belief in their self-worth changes. That's the stupidest thing. Instead, what you want to be putting your belief in is belief in yourself. All right? Belief that you can do it, because you can't control what these people think of you. All right? You can only control what you think of yourself. And you are not what other people think of you. You are what you think of yourself. Does that make sense? So this stuff, this is influence. This is not control. This is not stuff within your immediate control. And you don't want to focus on this. You don't want to optimize on this. You want to focus on things in your immediate life that you have immediate control over. And you want to optimize for that, because that's going to produce change. It's going to be hard to change these things. It's going to be hard to change what's happening in the news. Oh, but it's just so bad. It's so bad, and this and that and this and that. Okay, optimize. You need to be optimizing for success. All right, not optimizing for fear. This stuff right here, this is fear. And this stuff right here, friends, family, all of this stuff, this is people are going to be people. They're going to have their own opinions. They're going to do what they want to do, because you are what you choose to become. And I love this quote. There's this quote that says, you are not what has happened to you. You are what you choose to become. And that is very true, because we all have 24 hours in a day, and we all have the ability to focus on something. And we can focus on things that can move us ahead in life, or we can focus on things that can, take us back, okay? Or keep us stagnant. And you need to be focusing on things that can take you ahead. You need to be focusing on, controlling your income. All right, finding other sources of income. You need to be focusing on, where your time is going. All right. Are you spending so much time on pleasure, or are you being disciplined and focusing on developing a skill? These are things you need to think about. So yeah, you want to avoid focusing on things beyond your control, and you want to learn to focus on things that you have control over, okay? Things in your life, okay? Like your income, all right? Like your happiness, okay? Like where your time is going, okay? These are things you want to be focused on. What you focus on, can we just do that? And this is why I like to write down distractions. Because I have the choice to choose what I focus on. I don't have to focus on everything. I might not want to focus on everything. I don't want to focus on this stuff. You know why? Because I don't have control over this stuff. I'm optimizing for what's going to give me success. And these people, trying to convince these people right here, is a waste of time. Okay? It's an arm and a leg, because these people have their own way of thinking. So you can't put your confidence in these people, all right? Because they're their own persons too. They have control over their own. They have control over themselves. So what you need to do is you need to have control over yourself, and you need to focus on things you have control, and don't be like other people who are focused on things that are beyond their control. And I have news up here, but this could be, just anything bad, or anything that's beyond your control. All right, that's just way beyond your control. You have no control over it, and it's causing worry, and it's causing fear. And what's the reason why this is so bad is because when you think about these things, you're naturally going to focus on it. So what's wrong if you're focusing on news? You're naturally going to focus on this stuff, and you don't have a solution. You're not able to find a solution for these problems, okay? So you don't want to focus on problems. You want to focus on solutions, all right? How can you change your life? How can you become more successful? If you're not going to find it out here, all right? You're looking out here, all right, without. But where you need to be looking is within. You need to be looking in your inner circle, all right? Find things you can control and focus on that. Make sense? Don't look without, look within, all right? Same thing, especially when it comes to your own confidence and what you think, all right, and how you feel about yourself. Don't rely on others. Don't rely on this external source to make you feel good about yourself. All right? You are who you choose to become. All right? And you are who you are, because nobody knows what you think, okay? Just like you don't know what they think. So you can't put your self-esteem, you can't put your confidence in other people, and you can't put your focus in the wrong things. You can't focus on problems. You have to focus on solutions. So you need to focus on where your time is going. You need to focus on what you're doing with your time, okay? Or you're spending too much time on pleasure. Could you optimize in learning a skill? Could you control your income a bit better? Could you work a bit harder? Could you develop your personal growth? Could you develop yourself personally? That's a good one. Could you, become a better person? Because as you become a better person, you begin to affect this outer circle, and everything around you starts to change. All right, you have better relationships with your family, all of that, but it all starts with you. So many people are trying to change everything around them, but they don't start to change themselves. All right, the change starts with you. It starts with the man in the mirror, right? So if you want change, you got to stop looking without. You got to stop looking at these greater causes, these things that are so big and so vast and got so many layers to them. Trying to solve these problems, just huge. I mean, and you don't even know if this stuff is real or not, like the news, for example. I don't even want to get into that. But, you focus on all these things, and these things are not, beyond your control. These things are beyond your control. You have no control over these things. Friends and family, you don't have control over these things. You have influence. All right, that's what you need to be focused on. You have influence over these people, but you don't control them. All right, they have control over themselves. And the thing about it is that most of these people, like your friends and family, they're probably out focused on something that they don't have control over. Because most people are victims. Most people don't take ownership. Most people are victims. So you don't want to be a victim. All right, and if you focus on these external problems, you're going to be a victim. You need to focus on internal problems. All right, problems that's going on inside your house, okay? You need to optimize for that. You need to work on yourself. And when you become more successful, you will start to affect this external layer right here. You will start to influence your friends and family for the better. All right, but it all starts with you. So, yeah, you need to be working on that business. All right, forget about what people think. Forget about what they think, because what they think isn't true. Okay? All right? Worry about, you and what goal you're trying to achieve. All right? And write down your distractions. Write them down. Write down everything have a goal, all right, that's in your immediate control, something you can actually do, like start a business, better yourself, learn a skill, any skill. That could be piano, that could be martial arts, that could be whatever it is. Have a skill, have something, a goal you're trying to reach, or something you're trying to learn. Write down the distractions. And when I say distractions, I'm not just talking about stuff like this. That could be, that could be friends and family, like I've said in this external source. That could be friends and family. That could be, that could be your own doubt and unbelief. That could be other people's influence. That could be your own pleasure. Even your own pleasure can be a distraction. Because if you have a goal, sometimes most of the time your brain is going to go towards the thing that's pleasing you, right? So sometimes your own pleasure can be a distraction. You got to write these things down so when they're happening, they're happening, and you're able to, get back on course. Whereas if you don't know what these distractions are, you don't know what these things are, you're not going to know when they happen. Okay, so have a goal and write down everything that's distracting you from that goal. And be brutally honest. Let me make this clear. Be brutally honest. It could be your friends. It could be your family. It could be yourself. It could be a mindset. It could be fear, like, you know, the news and all of this stuff. It could be, you know, it has an effect on your mind. All right. You got to know what to prioritize, and especially if you want to achieve a goal. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to ramble in here. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't control. Don't focus on external problems. Focus on internal problems. All right. And I guarantee you, you will have more success in your life. All right, boys and girls, I hope you guys found some value out of today's video. And remember to hit that subscribe button, you know, like button, and leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. And remember to pursue happiness, plan a brilliant future, believe in everyday miracles, do what you think is right, seek advice often, live out loud. And the most important part, don't give up on yourself. All right, take care.